Hey there, Jono from Ecommerce SEO. Should you use vendor links on your Shopify store on your collection and product pages? Just quickly, if you haven't subscribed to our YouTube channel, make sure you hit the subscribe button below or head on over to our free private Facebook group. We've got plenty of great stuff going on over there about Shopify SEO. Now, on some Shopify themes, and there's quite a few of them out there, one of the most popular ones where people show the vendor link, and I'll just go through that in a second, are themes like the Out of the Sandbox theme. So this particular store we're looking at here, the theme is, I think it's a Chicago theme from Out of the Sandbox. And many themes have this feature where we're on a collection page here and we can see that under the actual product title, there's a link to the vendor. So you can add the vendor name in. And then if we click through to it, it actually takes us to the vendor page, and it's a query search. So what it'll do is pull back, obviously, all the products that have that same vendor. And then if we actually go to a product, we can also see, that's actually not, that's a different product I'm looking at. I'll just go to a product where we have an add to cart button. So we can see at the top here also we've got a link to the vendor page. I'm just going to click back. Okay, so having a vendor, it's good for usability, good for the user experience where people want to actually filter based on vendors. So it's a real simple way to do it. So in the Out of the Sandbox theme, for example, I'm just going to pull over my other screen. In the product section in your editing dashboard and your customization dashboard for your product pages, you can see here we've got show vendor. So you can just toggle it on and off. Now the issue is when you actually click through to the vendor page, you may have a lot of products where or a vendor where you've only got one or two products on a particular page. So for this example, we have a vendor page. We've only got three products for that particular vendor. So this can be classed as thin content. And we're not optimizing the H1 title. So we've got the same H1 title also as the SEO title. So we've got our SEO title up here. So you end up with issues there where it's not entirely optimized. And then on a lot of stores, we're finding if we run a deep crawl, for example, we're finding a lot of vendor pages are actually coming back classed as thin content. So even though it might be a good user experience, technically it might not be the right way to actually display your products for Google. And Shopify by default doesn't give you the option to actually optimize your titles or add a description on these vendor pages or optimize the SEO title. So what you should consider is whether you want the search engines actually to crawl and index these vendor pages, because they do index in search. So the easiest way is just not to have the vendor link showing, because if it doesn't get added to the sitemap. So if you turn off your vendor link, it won't show on the product pages, and then Google obviously won't be able to crawl them. The other way is you can show the vendor, but you can actually custom code in to actually have the link removed. So you still have the vendor name, but it doesn't actually link through to the pages. So in this example, I want the ability for the customer to come in and actually click through and look at a vendor page, but I don't want it to be indexed in Google. So all I've done is added a no index tag to these vendor pages. So we've just added a no index, no follow tag. So now that won't be indexed in Google. So how I've done that is I'm just going to bring up my theme liquid for this particular store. Is we've just added an if statement. So if collection handle contains vendors, no index, no follow. So that's all we've done. So now we can still show our vendor page to our customers, but it's actually no index in Google. So it's just a consideration if you're using a theme where you're showing vendors and you want to show your customers. There's that risk that you're going to just fill your page up or fill your store up with thin content on some of the vendor pages, and also they're not optimized. So it's just not from a technical point of view, it's just not the highest quality. These pages aren't the highest quality, and obviously that doesn't help the overall quality of the site from Google's eyes. Okay, hope that makes sense. Hope that was helpful. We'll see you next video.